as we go throughout our day today. You probably have noticed over the past couple of days that we've had sunrises that not necessarily looked how they typically look. They've been a little bit hazy, some reddishness to it, not a lot of other colors besides the red. And that's because we've been seeing the wildfire smoke over our area for the past several days. So as the sun has gotten up into the sky, it's sort of escaped that layer of smoke and everything has looked a little bit normal, but the sunrises and the sunsets especially have looked just a little bit different. The good news is all of this smoke is well above us. It's not impacting us anyway in terms of air quality. It's really just how the sky looks. This is the current map of active fires across North America. And really, our smoke is coming from the Canadian provinces. Our atmospheric flow in the upper level winds, is dragging all of that smoke down and then over top of us. This dip in the atmospheric flow, where we're starting to see things turn from north to east near Iowa, Illinois, is shifting to the south and to the east a little bit. So it's starting to clear out some of that smoke, but we can see even a better picture of the smoke dispersion in the upper levels of the atmosphere. This map and this information provided by NOAA, we can see once again that flow from north to south and then basically right over us. And that's why we've seen for the past several days, not just this morning, but if you've had the pleasure or displeasure of waking up in the morning yesterday or the day prior, that we've seen those hazy, reddish looking sunrises, and then we've seen those sunsets as well, similar color. The reason why is because of where the sun is positionally in the sky and how we perceive color. So typically when the sun is overhead at noon hour, everything is blue when the sky is clear, right? What happens is that the light doesn't have to travel through as many atmospheric particles. So it's able to scatter some of that blue and we're able to see that really well. But when the sun is on the horizon, either at sunrise or sunset, the light has to travel further from the sun to reach our eyes. Now, when light leaves the sun, it starts as white light. But white light really is just a combination of all of the visible light that we're able to see. Colors that are darker, your violets, your blues, they have shorter wavelengths. Light travels in waves. So the violets and the blues have shorter wavelengths. Your yellows, your oranges, your reds, they have longer wavelengths. So the longer wavelengths when the sun is lower on the horizon is a little bit more likely to reach our eyes. So when the sun is high in the sky, we see the blues. That's why the sky is blue, because that light is scattered efficiently enough that our eyes are able to see it. But when the sun is low on the horizon, those blues and those violets are scattered out completely, leaving behind the oranges, the yellows, and the reds. So, how does the wildfire smoke come into play here? Well, with the wildfire smoke, you've got these big chunky particles, or at least some big chunky particles. And what's happening is the wavelengths are hitting these particles. And the wavelengths that are associated with really the deepest of reds and maybe some hues of orange is what's being left behind, and that's what we're able to see. The reds are able to be scattered as such that we're able to see them more efficiently, and that's how we end up with sunrises like on the right, where you've got just some really hazy sky with maybe some clouds there, but a sun that looks pretty beet red, or at least a pretty dark orange. Whereas on the left, when you don't have any smoke in the sky and it's just kind of normal, you get this sort of bright yellow sunrise, like what we typically see. So that's why over the past couple of mornings, the sunrises have looked a little bit more red. The sunsets in the evening have looked a little bit more red because that wildfire smoke is able to scatter those reds, those deep oranges in an efficient enough way that we're able to see it really well, but we're not able to see any of the other colors that come from the sun very well. Now, we are going to start to get back to normal. Anywhere that is a shade of brown is where we're seeing wildfire smoke. And over the next couple of days, that's forecast to move out of our area. So sky conditions are expected to return to normal by weekend. Like I mentioned before, the good news is that this really hasn't been impacting us health-wise. It's just really been making the sunrise and the sunsets a little bit different color than what they typically are. So that's the explanation behind why we've been seeing those very reddish, orange sunrises and sunsets over the past couple of mornings. Now, if you want the latest weather updates, tune in to 21 Alive News at 4 with meteorologist Chris Daniels, and then you can find the latest starting with Matt at 5 p.m. tonight. Have a good one.